Tommy,
What's up, man? How we doing?
how are you, man?
I'm a little tired, man. Not gonna lie. I just woke up from a nap a little bit ago, but I'm here, man. It's Friday nights. It's a good one, man. How about you?
Man, I have been nonstop, excuse me, nonstop busy. Last week we were both sick. Um,
Yep, I had the Roni.
you had the Roni and I just had a faux Roni. I had the faux COVID. The COVID had the Wayne symptoms. The Wayne didn't have the COVID symptoms. COVID had the Wayne
Oh
symptoms.
yeah,
But yeah, man, it's been a crazy week, and
yeah, man.
this weekend we got the NFL playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got some AEW Dynamite to talk about. Some Royal Rumble previews that will come forth with you guys.
Yeah,
But first, Tommy, let's get the show started. Are you
yes.
ready? It's
Started
been
with a
about
little bit
2
of
weeks.
music, man. I think that's what
I'm
we got to
ready.
do.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
From the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening. This is episode 78.
Jeez, man, that is crazy.
We are almost at episode 80.
80 episodes.
2 episodes away.
Yeah, man.
But who's counting?
Not us. Not us.
Oh, what a weekend. It is cold here up in the Northeast. We're just below 20 degrees up in Long Island. How is it over by you?
Hey, man, it's pretty cold out here, I think, right where I'm at in central Indiana. There's this big snowstorm that's kind of forming, but there's a giant donut hole right in central Indiana that's just not getting any snow. So it'll be interesting to see what hits this weekend. First snow of the year.
Hole?
Huh?
Are you in that donut hole?
Yeah, man, we're right in the donut hole. No snow for us, it seems.
Oh, man. Behind me, I got Royal Rumble 92 playing.
Hey, man, we're in the time of the year for the Royal Rumble, man.
What
Favorite
people
pay-per-view of the
believe to
year.
be one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah,
The title was on the line for this match.
yeah.
This is Frank Manzo's one of his favorite Royal Rumbles.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's his absolute favorite Royal Rumble.
Okay. Hey, I've only seen it I think one time a few years ago, and I haven't seen it since, but I do remember enjoying it. I don't know if it's my favorite Royal Rumble, but I do remember enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on with Ric Flair, with Macho Man, Elizabeth during this time. Warrior, a lot of drama going with Warrior.
Yeah.
Ric Flair was had the WCW title. Remember that? Walking
Yeah.
on TV with the WCW title a couple months prior. And then you had like Sid Vicious was in there. It was a stacked.
It was one of the more
of that time.
full, like you said, fully stacked roster. You know, there's a lot of depth from 1 to 30 of people who could viably win the match. So yeah, I thought it was one of the better stacked rosters of any Royal Rumble.
For sure. But anyway, I figured I'd throw that on behind me while we get the show started.
Yeah, man.
But so this is the NFL playoffs this week.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am, man. I'm
What are you looking forward to much? What are you looking forward to most?
I think the game that I'm looking forward to the most is probably Cardinals Rams, because I think those are two teams that have probably the best chance of competing with Green Bay, and I say that in the way that Green Bay is the favorite for me to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think Tampa Bay matches up, and I think Aaron Rodgers is having an MVP season no matter what the numbers say, and it'll be interesting for that game. But also, man, I want to see that Raiders-Bengals game. That's going to be a really good one tomorrow.
Yeah, not a bad appetizer to start the weekend off.
Yeah, man, the Raiders coming off of that crazy win that should have been a tie, but
and then we got the Buffalo Bills versus
the Bills and Pats.
Patriots.
Yeah, man.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Bengals coming in. You know, they just had a really huge game, beating some really good teams. the past few weeks. I think they lost to Cincinnati last week, but I could be wrong on that. It's tough for me to keep up with all the scores. But yeah, man, it'll be good. I think really the only favorite games that I think that teams are outright going to win. I think the Niners are going to beat the Cowboys. I think the Niners
so too.
I think the Niners are just a better team, and that now that they've introduced Brandon Ayuk more into the run game, or not Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel more into the run game, it's just a different way to open up the offense. And if I had to choose right now, I would go San Francisco. I think it'll be a great game. And then Tampa Bay over Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia is going to run the ball a lot, and that's something that the Bucs defense hasn't been the best at this year. But I mean, I'm not picking against Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. That's just not worth it. So
who's got Tampa Bay in the first matchup again?
Philly.
Yeah, I got to go Tampa Bay there too.
Yeah,
I think
there's no way. I just don't see Brady losing at home.
It might be competitive though.
Yeah,
it's just
man.
It's gonna be interesting to see what Brady does without any of his wide receivers, main wide receivers.
Yeah, without Godwin, and is Evans out too?
I don't know about that one.
Okay,
but I
know I figured Evans was fine because I know he played last week.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna have to rely on his 3 tight ends.
No Antonio Brown and no
Leonard Fournette's
no
Chris
Godwin.
The ball a lot.
Yeah, hey man, it works for them, and the Eagles got a good defense though. It'll be a close game, but I still think Tampa Bay pulls that one out.
Yeah, I got Tampa Bay coming out of there.
And then Kansas City and Pittsburgh. I mean, I think Pittsburgh can keep it within 14 points. I know that's what the spread is it's 2 touchdowns or something like that. I think they can do that.
They got to take care of
They're going to
come
in with a chip on their shoulder, but
they got to take care of the ball.
Kansas City's winning that game.
I'm
sure of that. Game. Yeah.
That would be a major upset if Kansas City loses.
Yep.
Big time upset.
It'll be closer than people think. I'll say that.
Well, so we got some wrestling talk.
Yeah, man.
We got some wrestling. We're going to talk a little bit of AEW Dynamite. We'll run through the show really quick. We'll get to some Royal Rumble updates and early predictions. Not our solid predictions. That would be for our predictions show, should we do one. Yep. But some early predictions and what have you. So, pretty decent Dynamite that we got this week.
Yeah, man. I feel like
I felt like there was a lot of matches. There was a lot of matches. They really tried to stack a lot of content in one night this Wednesday. I can tell you that much.
And I mean, what was Punk Wardlow's
7 matches?
Punk Wardlow's first or second match on the show. I mean,
first match.
It was okay. I thought it was the first match. I mean, that starts the show off pretty damn hot. I mean, that's a really good match with Wardlow's. I mean, we'll just jump right into it. Wardlow's on a damn good tear. He is really over with the crowd, and it's whenever he does complete that turn on MJF, it's the crowd's gonna pop for him, and I'm excited to see that because I've really been a fan of Wardlow for the last, he's grown on me a lot over the last year.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. I mean, we see the commentators telling the story of Wardlow, possibly wanting to make his own way, maybe outgrowing MJF. This is the commentators feeding you this information, so they're clearly building to a face turn of some sort, like a split between these guys. We see MJF interrupting Wardlow, pinning Punk. Wardlow had the match won after the 8 power bombs that Wardlow gave to CM Punk.
I know. I love it, man. Such a simple move, but he does it so well.
MJF says to punish him more. He demands Wardlow to put Punk to the table. So Punk goes to the table.
Great spot.
Yeah. And then how about the spot when Punk just beats the 10 count?
Yeah, that was great too.
Cool.
This match for both Wardlow and Punk was really good storytelling and really good just in-ring work.
And then we see MJF getting involved one last time to put another power bomb on Punk. Yeah, and then we see CM Punk with the quick roll up on Wardlow for the 1, 2, 3. Wardlow gets pissed, and MJF and Wardlow confronting each other. You see MJF starting to get a little physical and pointing into Wardlow's chest, and then we see Sean Spears coming in to calm that down. So yeah, I would probably. When do you think this split might happen? I'm thinking maybe at Revolution.
It's got to be soon. Maybe Beach Break when they go to Cleveland in a few weeks. I mean, maybe that's where you do it because that is Wardlow's hometown. So him being from Cleveland, do the face turn in Cleveland. I mean, you're guaranteeing an even bigger pop. So maybe that's where they go. But yeah, if not there, I'd say Revolution because this has to have a good pop for it to happen and to go over well. And not that I don't think that it will, but putting it on a big stage or a big episode of Dynamite, it'll just make it a lot better.
Yeah. So I think we're both in agreement that this is probably going to happen relatively soon.
Yeah.
And then
I think they go to I think they go to Cleveland like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
And maybe down the line, the next pay-per-view, they'll do MJF versus Wardlow, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what they could do at Revolution or something. Because I mean, where do you go from here? Because obviously, we saw later in the night, MJF comes out and says, "You guys, again, you want the match?" Doing what he did the last week, and now he says you're facing Sean Spears. So after Sean Spears, is it going to be MJF versus Punk at Beach Break, and then you do the turn, and then MJF and Wardlow? It might be the way they end up going.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like for now. We had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin, another little guy versus big guy match.
Yeah.
Second one in a row of that type. Martin gets the win. Ricky Starks tries getting involved. We see Jay Lethal coming in and taking Starks off the apron. We saw that causing Hobbs to get distracted, and Dante Martin gets the win. Dante Martin is on a little bit of a roll here.
Yeah.
And so
is Hobbs. Hobbs has been on a roll too.
Yeah. I like Hobbs. He's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was a good pairing for these guys. I always love seeing that traditional little guy versus big guy.
Yeah. It was interesting to see two matches though back to back with that.
Yeah, right. So good little match with those guys. I would expect to see Jay Lethal and Dante Martin versus Ricky Starks and Hobbs. If that match hasn't happened on Rampage tonight, I would expect that soon.
Yeah.
But I have no clue what's happening on Rampage right now, obviously because we're doing our show.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is interesting. So at the beginning of the show, the first segment of the night, we see Adam Cole and we see O'Reilly and Bobby
Red Dragon.
Yeah, all in the ring cutting a promo. Then we see the Young Bucks come in, and then they're teasing, maybe like a match because O'Reilly and Fish clearly are saying that they're gonna, be future tag team champions, and nobody's gonna get in their way. And they said that the Young Bucks face, so maybe they're setting something up there.
I hope they do.
Seems like a little bit of a power struggle.
They need to be tag team champions.
Adam Cole is caught in between all this.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure where they're going, if these guys are gonna align themselves together officially, or so. Right now, that it's I feel like it's kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
Of where they're gonna go with this, but I could definitely see that match happening eventually. But then we see the best friends. We see the best friends come out. Answer the challenge was Adam Cole starting to talk about the best friends again, and then we see a big brawl between them two. Chris Statlander getting involved, and then Britt Baker getting involved. So this is the first time we're seeing Britt Baker and Adam Cole in the same segment, which I thought was pretty
them
interesting.
acknowledging, and then them acknowledging their relationship. It's like. I like AEW for putting in that real stuff. I know WWE's done it before in the past too, but I appreciate them doing that, and I think it sets up a good tag team match with Best Friends and Statlander. Well, I guess she's a part of Best Friends. Best Friends versus O'Reilly and
Oh, it's Adam Cole and Britt Baker challenging Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy. I think it's Wednesday.
Yep, next week. Yep.
Yeah, so that should be
But
pretty
I'm just saying
I like
that's
the
a match you
dynamics.
could do. That mixed tag match. That's a match you could do. The giant tag match. That's a match you could do at Beach Break. Do the Beach Break or do it. I don't think they'd extend it out to Revolution, but you can do it sometime.
No, I think this feud's got to end. I don't think this feud should go on much longer than another. The past Revolution. To be honest, I don't even think it should go all the way up to Revolution.
No, I think
Cole,
that's another match.
End it with Cole and Orange, and then that's it.
I think that's another match you can save for Beach Break.
Yeah. But we see Adam Cole and Britt Baker challenge Statlander and Orange Cassidy for next week. So that's happening on Dynamite. It looks like we got a new challenger for Hangman.
I'm excited about this one, man.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Glad to see him come back, man. Lance Archer. I've missed him, man. I'm a big fan of his. I've always been a big fan. I love that pairing with Jake the Snake. If you can, I know he's had some title matches. I know he had a match against Moxley, and he's had some other ones that he just kind of has lost his momentum after each one. I'm really hoping that this time, again, you're not doing two of the best, technical wrestlers in Hangman and Daniel Bryan or something, or Hangman and Kenny Omega. This is Lance Archer's a big guy. Like, this is going to be an interesting.
This is going to be hard hitting.
Yeah, hard hitting, slow match, and I'm here for it. Like, I'm excited to see what goes down with it. But I'm really hoping that after, because I still think Hangman wins.
Yeah,
I think there's no way that Archer really wins, but I really want to see Archer keep that momentum going and be that bad guy heel, big guy heel. I think he plays that character really well. So it's good to see him back. I know he's been out for, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, I feel like it's been about 6 months or so.
Yeah, I want to say maybe was it All Out that he came back, or maybe that was his last match. Let's see. But yeah, man, it's good to see him back.
Sting and Darby Allin get their revenge on the Acclaimed from the laying out of Acclaimed laid out Sting and Darby Allin about 2 weeks ago with the boombox in the ring.
Yeah.
So Sting and Darby got their revenge. I would expect a tag team match between the two very soon.
Hey man, it'll
possibly Beach Break. I'm not too sure if that would be a Revolution match, but
yeah, I again don't think that's a Revolution match. I think that's just another good match you can fill on that card at Beach Break. And I think it'll be good for the Acclaimed. I think that's a pretty high quality match for them. A few big opponents in the AEW world. So I'm excited to see that. I still don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the Acclaimed as a team. I don't know. I just can't get into them too much. I really like their in-ring work.
Yeah.
But hey man, it's good. They're over with a lot of people, and I really think that they are really good in the ring. So seeing those two go up against Sting and Darby Allin, it'll be a good rub for them, man.
Now speaking
maybe
of
they get the upset. I would be okay if they got an upset win right there.
Speaking of which, the tag team division is subtly getting stacked again.
Yeah, gosh, just seems like they always have talent.
You got I mean, Matt Hardy. You got eventually, Jeff's gonna get in there.
Yeah.
You got the Young Bucks. We got
Red Dragon.
Now we got Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish in there.
Red Dragon. Yep.
Just that tag team alone coming in adds a lot of depth.
Best friends.
Always fun to see Bear Country in there. Two
Jungle
big guys,
Boy,
really
Luchasaurus.
The tag team
champs. Yeah.
Yeah. The tag team division's looking nice. How about the match between Shida and Serena Deeb?
Hey man, I love Serena Deeb being this badass heel. I was always a fan of her in Straight Edge Society, as a kid watching that. So seeing her kind of get that due, get the due that she kind of deserves and get that kind of main event spot, I think she's going to be a really good heel and a really good challenger for the AEW title, the women's title. But yeah, man, this was good. This was a beatdown.
Absolutely. That pretty much covers AEW. Is there anything you want to add about AEW?
Yeah, man. We saw Brodie King debut with Aleister Black or Malachi Black. Excuse me. Brodie King is really solid wrestler. I know that they've been kind of teasing. I think that his signing has been known for a while. It's just they've been waiting to debut him, but it is good to see him and interesting to see what they're gonna do with it's. I forget the name of it, but Aleister's. I keep calling him Aleister. Malachi's like I'm sorry.
House of Black.
The House of Black, yeah. Brodie King's going to be a good member of that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that storyline.
And not to mention, we got Sammy Guevara defeating Dustin Rhodes last week for the interim TNT Championship.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes was injured, was unable to go, so they decided to create an interim title. And we saw Dustin and Sammy Guevara go toe-to-toe.
Yeah.
With Guevara getting the win. And not to mention, that was the main event. Sammy Guevara defended against Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
In which was very awesome. I forgot to put that on my notes. But they had a really good pacing match, hard-hitting, stiff at times. And then we see 2.0 getting involved. And now there's friction between Chris Jericho and
Eddie Kingston.
Kingston because they have the common enemy of Daniel Garcia, and Jericho and Kingston are basically getting each other's way. I'm wondering if Eddie Kingston is going to be responsible for being a wedge in the inner circle. I got a close eye on that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're headed towards an Eddie Kingston versus Jericho match too, as well.
I don't know how I'm gonna enjoy that match, but they are two of my favorite wrestlers, so I'm hoping that the pairing works because I think that they're both really still good on the mic, and I think they can tell a really good story if they let it build out a little more.
Yeah. So that basically covers AEW Dynamite. But hey, did you watch the new Spider-Man yet? By the way, we didn't even talk about that.
I have
not
not.
Watch it.
No.
Oh,
I know
dude.
it. I know some of the stuff, but
I came across some spoilers and I'm choosing to ignore it.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet. I actually just started watching a couple of the Marvel movies in chronological order. I did
okay.
Yeah, I did Captain America, and now I'm in the middle of what's their name?
Iron Man.
Yeah. No, Iron Man comes after, but I did watch the two Iron Mans out of order though.
Oh, okay.
Captain Marvel.
Okay.
She was gorgeous with the long hair.
Yes. Brie Larson.
She cut that hair?
I think Brie Larson's gorgeous any time of the week.
Not the short hair. But anyway, I digress.
I haven't even seen the last Spider-Man, man.
Oh, wow. You should watch it. Far From Home was pretty cool.
I know, and I own it, too. I'm looking at it right now on my little Blu-ray case. I haven't seen it yet.
I think, like, I have it. I could have sworn I ordered it. I don't see it. Maybe it's at my house.
I got some, like,
somewhere.
I got some 4-disc, like, Blu-ray set of both the new Spider-Man, the Into the Spider-Verse animated one, and then Venom.
There is so much stuff coming out.
I know, man.
Year.
I haven't caught up with anything.
I haven't even seen Low Key. I just saw Black Widow, but I'm going back in order and watching them all again.
Okay.
I may have to suffer through a couple of them, like the Hulk movies. I'm not really a Hulk fan.
Okay, that's fair enough. I can't blame you for that.
Yeah, so I may have to suffer a little bit. But if there's like other Marvel characters in those Hulk movies, then maybe I'll be okay. So I don't know. So I'll have to check it out to find out. But yeah. So yeah, Black Widow was really interesting. Let me see. Scarlett Johansson, I think, was Black Widow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. She's so good. Absolutely good at what she does.
Yep. I agree.
So we got the WWE Royal Rumble Saturday, January 29th.
Yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow. That's crazy.
So what kind of updates can you provide us?
Oh well, I can tell you that we're gonna see Lita, and then I think they said that there's some crazy breakthrough of the Forbidden Door, something like that, where
Yeah, Mickey James.
Mickey James, the Impact Knockout Champion.
And Pat McAfee mentioned that on Friday. The
Yeah,
Knockout
last
Champion.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh man.
And that
And maybe
honestly,
I think maybe Vince McMahon's doing it to make it up to Mickey James, but
if this
regardless,
opens
this is
up,
a forbidden door.
yes, and that's the thing is, if it's just Impact, that's great. I think that would be wonderful and be able to showcase some of the guys that they've lost. Bring in a guy like Rhino for a cheap pop or Heath Slater or something, and and there's a lot of people that could come over from just Impact, but Booker T was talking on his podcast about the possibility of a guy like Jericho coming over from AEW. We already saw Jericho do the Stone Cold podcast, so if that happens, I don't know what the pop would be like for Jericho, but I think it would be an interesting one for sure, whether he gets booed or cheered, but there's a lot of possibilities here, man, and I'm excited to at least see that WWE is going to allow Mickey James to come over and be in this match, because I sometimes feel like the women's Royal Rumbles, it's great that they have them, but they just seem very light. There's like a few stars in every single one, but it's the same people every single year. And I know the men's Royal Rumbles have done that as well, but the women's roster has always kind of been, there's not as much depth as there is in the men's roster, and that's on WWE. But it'll be good to see some returning legends, and I think just seeing her, I read something today that she was going to have the title belt with her, the Knockout Champion belt. So if that happens, man, good for Impact. I think that's going to be a really good stage for them. Yeah, I'm excited about that, man.
I'm wondering if this is the beginning of Vince McMahon softening up to the idea of the Forbidden Door.
If it is, or if it's somebody who's in talk of buying, asking them to, or something like that. I don't know, but
and by the way, on the stage of Royal Rumble itself, your most hardcore wrestling fans and WWE fans are going to be at the Royal Rumble.
Yep, St.
And
Louis.
let me tell you, Jericho will get a monster pop if he is.
You think so?
Hypothetically. Let's just say hypothetically.
Well,
Jericho will get a monster pop, especially for the 18 to 49 demo. And I would expect Jericho to be top 4, top 5 guys remaining left.
Well, okay, so
you can't have him in and out early like that. That would be bad.
Let's say he does come out. Do you think, because we've seen him kind of do the switch of characters in AEW, he brought back the Painmaker. He kind of did, I think it was a promo where they kind of hinted at some of his past gimmicks. Do you think he comes back with like the break the walls down, Jericho?
Yeah.
And get that cheap, because that's a cheap pop, but I mean the crowd would go, sorry for my language, but they'd go fucking nuts for that.
I did that happen. I did that would happen.
I just think now that people are kind of like going through with the Firefly Funhouse with going through John Cena's gimmicks and all that stuff, and bringing back the Undertaker's gimmick at the same WrestleMania, just kind of being able to kind of acknowledge the past gimmicks now. I think WWE, if they brought in Jericho and created somewhat of a relationship with AEW, hey man, that would be cool with me, especially if they did the break the walls down, or if they, hey man, even if they did oh man, was that the only theme song that he had?
For Cena?
No, for Jericho.
Well, he's had like, it's basically been the only theme song he's had.
Yeah.
But he's had like 3 or 4 different versions of it easily.
Do you think they do a Judas then? I mean, I still think that would get a really good pop.
Oh my gosh. I mean, WWE would have to buy the rights. Well, no, it's Jericho's
Well, it's
song.
Jericho's
So
song, yeah.
I think it's very, very possible.
I
I would freaking
don't know.
lose it.
I don't know which one I'd have. Like, would WWE really just straight up?
I think WWE would want to do like to break the walls.
They'd want to do their own stuff if they can.
But it is Jericho's song.
But that's the thing is, even if it's Judas, it will still get a really good pop.
It'll get a
good or bad,
pop.
Whatever it is.
It'll get a monster pop. It's getting a big pop if Jericho shows up at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now I'm hoping it happens, man. I'll pop here. I'll be excited to see him.
So that's hypothetical.
Yeah.
All right. So on Monday Night Raw, was it last week? Bobby Lashley is now your number one contender because he won the triple threat, if I'm not mistaken, or the Fatal 4-Way.
Fatal 4-Way. Excuse me.
So
like I said, I just woke up from a nap like an hour ago. So
that's all right. I feel like I'm always on a nap.
I feel
even
that.
when I'm awake.
Yeah.
So Lashley wins. He's your number one contender for Brock Lesnar. I do not see him beating Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. However, Lesnar is still subtly intertwined in this thing with the Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what's going to happen there.
Hey, man, can we just I don't know if you watched SmackDown from last week. Can we just talk about how good Brock Lesnar's doing, like, as a babyface? I think he is absolutely hilarious on the mic. And seeing his podcast, seeing his promo with Bobby Lashley this week was absolutely hilarious. Or Raw. It was on Raw. Sorry.
It was all right.
No, man. I think people don't give
the
Brock
work
credit.
that Lesnar's been doing has been pretty cool, though.
Yeah. I think people don't give Brock enough credit. When he was in UFC, man, he was a pretty good promo. He could talk pretty well.
WWE never saw Brock, especially early on in his career, as a great promo guy. That's why he always had a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been.
I'm funny and I'm money.
Giving Brock a little more freedom.
I think that's what he said. I'm funny and I'm money.
He's been doing some good work.
Yeah.
Lashley's not beating Lesnar at the Rumble.
No, he's not. But it'll be a good match, man. I've been excited to see this one. It kind of seemed like the one that never happened as a kid, even though, they just missed each other in terms of being in WWE. If from the end of Lesnar's first run and the beginning of his second, and even in the UFC in MMA. But it'll be good to see what they do here. I think it's going to be a really hard hitting match. I really hope it's not another shitty 5-minute Lesnar match. Like, give these guys like 15 minutes to just beat the hell out of each other. You've built Bobby Lashley up so well ever since he's come back. I think he's done really well to get in the main event level and obviously become champion. But you can't have this match end in 5 minutes, or you're going to completely ruin everything that you have done for the last at least year and a half.
So this came out of nowhere. During the SmackDown last week, I didn't watch SmackDown this week. Obviously, we were getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it a little later. But last week's SmackDown, we see Adam Pearce come to a point where he's going to pick Roman Reigns' next opponent for the Royal Rumble. And at the very end of SmackDown last week, we see Seth Rollins come into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins is going to be the challenger of Roman Reigns. I did not see that coming at the Royal Rumble.
Seth freaking Rollins.
And that's another title I don't see changing at the Rumble.
No, but
unless they have like a particular direction that they want to go in.
I think I
think Roman's going to hold this thing for 2 years.
I don't know. I feel like they could do Rollins winning, and then you take Brock, because I know Rollins was originally supposed to win. That's the report, was that Rollins was originally supposed to win at day one before Reigns got COVID. So I think if you give Rollins the win here, you can do Brock versus Reigns for Brock's title, and then obviously Reigns wins, and you get his the way you want it, Reigns and Rollins as both champions right after WrestleMania. Oh, Wayne, I think you're muted, my man.
Yep.
There you go.
So you don't think that they're gonna try to do a merging of the titles here?
What do you mean? Like
the
Raw and SmackDown titles?
The Raw and SmackDown Men's Championship titles.
No, I don't. I think they keep them both. You have a match for both nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 2-night WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you could do like a 2-match, 3-match tournament to decide who's going to be undisputed champion.
I don't think they do the undisputed champion. I mean, they could. I just the roster's too big to have just one championship. I feel like, and I know that sounds stupid because obviously they've been cutting people, but there's still a lot of.
You think the roster is too big for one championship?
Yeah, dude, I do.
Have you seen how small the tag team division and women's division
not the tag. I'm not talking about the tag team. I'm talking
those
about
need to be merged too.
I'm talking about the singles division.
Here's the problem: the singles division, like there's only it is very, very thin on Raw. That's why Brock Lesnar had to go to Raw because they need help over there. The main event, Big E's push was flatlining. It was fading. It just wasn't good.
I think
it was getting that main event scene was getting very stale over there.
I think that now that we're seeing guys like AJ Styles show up on NXT and Grayson Waller showing up on Raw or whatever he showed up on, Raw or SmackDown. WWE is showing that the willingness to push these young guys really quickly. Guys like Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa is still around. We don't know the status of Johnny Gargano. There's still people that I think that they will Gable Stevenson, that they will gladly push up to that main roster. So I think if you have just one title, you're going to start bringing that roster back up. And I think they're going to start signing people. And then again, and if you bring in guys from Impact or, Jericho or whatever, that's more people going after one title. So I like the fact of two titles, but I do agree with you that they could do an undisputed title and make it work. I just feel like there's enough pieces in the singles division to do two titles on both rosters. A title on both rosters.
And how about the Intercontinental title? I forgot who's our Intercontinental champion now.
Is it still Shinsuke?
It's being sarcastic, by the way. When was the last time that IC belt was?
Do you want me to tell you what happened on SmackDown? Because I'm pretty sure
I did not watch. I know Apollo. I think Apollo is going against Shinsuke tonight, right?
I don't know, but I did see on Twitter that Shinsuke was there, that he was involved in something.
All right, because I mean, other than like this Rick Boogs stuff and
yeah, I love Rick Boogs.
The IC title has not been an emphasis whatsoever.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like what they're doing with Damian Priest with the U.S. title every week, or almost like every other week, they should be doing with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep, I agree.
He should be an important piece of that SmackDown roster, and it's just falling flat.
I agree.
And he's been a champion for 7 months now.
Yeah, he's been champion for a while.
6 months since at least SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we've seen one title defense. We've probably seen at least one.
Yeah.
Probably no more than that.
There's been a few, but I totally agree with you. I don't think his reign's been as good as it should have been, but that's kind of the best way to describe the entire run of WWE for Shinsuke Nakamura. My voice cracked right there. WWE.
So let's start bringing this in for landing. The women's on the women's side, we have the main event of Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. which I'm okay with because
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it because they're going to be working to
It's gonna be a good
Lynch.
match. It's
They're working to Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan, maybe versus Bianca Belair. Probably one of those matches or in the form of a triple threat at WrestleMania. So this is kind of like a small little detour.
yeah.
Part of the storytelling of, getting Bianca and or Liv Morgan ready for a WrestleMania push. Listen, I have a feeling that we're gonna get Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan throwing each other over the top rope and both winning the Women's Royal Rumble. What do you think?
Okay. I mean,
Setting up a triple threat at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't be against that. I was gonna say Liv Morgan was my pick, so I guess we're kind of thinking the same way. But hey, man, I've always been
I think
a fan of the,
Liv Morgan's my pick too, but they kind of have Bianca Belair like hanging around here.
Well, they could do, one match one night, and then the winner goes on for the second match or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they,
or they do Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan 1-on-1.
Night one
in between pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think you could even do that match night one for. I'll put my title match, opportunity on the line. Whatever they end up doing, they've done that story before, and then the winner goes on to face, Becky at night two, and let that main event. Because obviously they love Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So, and that was actually a pretty good main event on Raw. You drop Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, triple threat.
Yeah, and I think that.
Oh, how about this? We had a pretty cool heel turn on Raw Monday night. Nikki, I don't know why did you spell her name. Just call her Nikki Ash. Nikki Ash turning on Rhea Ripley, but from my perspective, I thought Rhea Ripley was going to turn on Nikki Ash.
Yep, I agree. I did too.
So I popped a quick pop when Nikki Ash turned on Rhea Ripley. I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's a good move. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do something with her character because Nikki Cross is way too good to be used the way she's been. I know she was champion, but we all know that her championship run was pretty crappy. So
yeah, I blame WWE booking for that.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much covers everything that we got for the Royal Rumble now.
Yeah, man.
I didn't watch SmackDown, so maybe there's new updates, but we got next week to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But that pretty much wraps up episode 78. Tommy, you have anything you want to add?
No, man. I think we hit it all, man. I'm excited for the Rumble. We're only 2 weeks away. It feels weird.
2 weeks away.
It's weird, man. And it's on a Saturday, which is great. It's I'm gonna be able to enjoy it and drink a few beers and watch it, and then hop on the podcast and not have to worry about going into work the next day. And enjoy it, man. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that is going to be a fun.
Especially with there might be a few surprises with the forbidden doors. So that'll be there's excitement around this pay-per-view. There's always excitement around the Rumble, but with the possibility of more people coming in and, we kind of never know what's going to happen. I just feel like this year's could be a pretty good one, man. Maybe we see The Rock. You never know. You never know. Maybe we see John Cena in the Peacemaker outfit. I'd love that.
Oh my god.
Not sponsored, but go check out Peacemaker on HBO Max. Just released yesterday, starring John Cena.
Wow. This guy's thinking he's The Rock over here.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But I'm gonna have to check that out now. I got the whole day off tomorrow.
There you go, man. First 3 episodes are on there.
10 of the last 11 days. I am shot. I need rest. I'm gonna watch football. Toes up.
Yes, man. Tomorrow's gonna be a good one, man. Raiders Bengals kicking it off.
Raiders Bengals 4:30, man. I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be a good weekend. We're gonna have a lot to talk about next week.
Yes, sir.
But for those of you guys that are watching Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any episodes. We're on Twitter for all the updates. You can find us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Make sure you guys share this with your friends and family. Let's get the word out there that we are here.
Yes.
We're about to get into our busy season in 2 weeks.
It's best time of the year for us right now.
Is coming up. And then before you know it, season 3 is going to start not long after WrestleMania. So season 2 is wrapping up quick.
Yeah, man.
And season 3 is going to be a great one for sure. Cannot wait. But to those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. And you guys have an awesome weekend.
Yes.
Watch some football.
Yes, enjoy it.